Today we have something of a that guy story. One where the guy doesn't actually think of some of the basic rules of science, applies to something he's doing because they were role playing in an anime instead of a traditional fantasy setting. You'll see more of what's going on as we get into it. But for now, roll post. This happened a while ago, but it's still kind of fresh in my mind. Naruto was still a big and huge thing, but we didn't know any of the tabletop games that allowed any kind of universe for that to be played in. In this story, we have me, the OP, my friend Greg, the DM, and then we have Noel and Abram. Our DM friend figured out a system that would turn D&D into Naruto pretty effectively. After explaining the basics to myself and Greg through a group chat, we were both in. He headed over to the DM's house, talking about our characters and the concepts we had while we had there the whole time. When we got there were two people already there at the DM's house. They introduced themselves as Noel and Abram. They seemed cool enough at first, but you'll see that changes pretty quickly. After introductions were done, we all listen up as the DM fully explains the system that he came up with. We'd be playing in a variant of the Naruto universe. All the events of Naruto happened, but we were playing in the future after the Great Ninja War. It might be important to note that Boruto had not come out yet by this point. Greg and I chose to be from the Lightning Village, while Abram picked the Leaf Village, and Noel, he picked Hidden Mist. The first thing Abram asked was if we could use Kekkei Genkai. Then Noel asked if he could be one of the seven swordsmen of the mist. He had some kind of obsession with Kasame. I don't know. The DM agreed to both. Abram used Sharingan, while Noel picked Samehada as his weapon. I decided that I wanted Sharingan too, and Abram immediately replied with, "You can't have Sharingan. You're not from the Leaf Village." I explained that there was someone from another village that had Byakugan. As long as my story actually covered all the angles, it should be fine. Liam said as long as his story actually was covering the angles, he'd be fine. He'd allow it too. I explained my backstory, and while Aaron scoffed at it, Liam said, "Hey, you're good to go." I slid the DM a folded note, and as he read it, he smiled and then nodded to me. Greg and I tried to make it so our characters' abilities actually kind of complemented one another. And we actually had a backstory that we were squad mates at one point. The story was that the sightings of strange chimera-like creatures and ninja which were equally strange, had popped up near the hidden waterfall village. A joint task was called to investigate, and that's where we come in. We talked to some of the locals and investigated a bit before actually talking to some of the shinobi villagers themselves. Turns out that the attacks had all been happening at night. There would be a disturbance in the village, and then a monster would appear to terrorize and attack the villagers. So naturally, we waited for nightfall, in different spots, of course, keeping in touch with one another through the radios. Each of us saw the same thing before a monster attacked. Someone in a mask attacked a villager and injected them with something. The villager thrashed around in pain before actually being forced to transform into a monster. Previously, there had only been one monster to fight, but each fight weakened the shinobi. The village as a whole now only had four that could actually fight, and they actually had four monsters to deal with. That was very bad. They had actually no way of keeping up their defenses, and whoever was doing this knew that. They whittled away slowly at their defenses and then went for the big attack. Greg and I fought to subdue the monsters, understanding that none of this was their fault, and we had hoped to be able to find a cure, while Noel and Abram simply slaughtered the monsters they fought. The four of us each chased down the masked men, tracking them to what we figured was their hideout. Slowly we entered and immediately saw all kinds of medical equipment. Noel and Abram began destroying things. Greg and I stopped them. They immediately protest, saying that they don't want any of the masked men to use any of this to bring more harm to anybody else. Greg and I argue that if the equipment can be used to make the monsters, then perhaps it can be used to cure them of the affliction. Death is the only cure for something like this, Noel said. The answer for someone too lazy to look for a cure, I reply in character. Noel glares at me, but we continue with the mission. We come across a puppet master that used interesting weapon mods for his puppets. I took some serious damage from one of the puppets while blocking an attack from another. DM states that anyone looking at me, that it seemed like my arm had been completely cut off. I scramble into a corner and hold my arm in place. Abram comes and pulls on my arm, finding it still connected to my body, but my sleeve comes off effectively. What did you just do? Noel asked. Nothing, I said with a smile on my face and continued to play. Abram and Noel whisper to each other for a moment before Abram takes my left arm and actively looks like he's about to examine it. But that's just a ploy, as right after Noel declares he's using Samehada to hack my arm off. As soon as the blow lands, Greg's character punches Abrams in the face. I have my character punch Noel's in the face while using a technique that Tsunade taught Sakura. Yeah, we weren't being too constrictive with the techniques and who knew what and who was from where. So, yeah. Releasing chakra as it seen the impact come. This sent both of them flying, and as I had my Sharingan up and used my reaction turn to fire a bolt of lightning into the water before it actually touched any of us. Noel immediately called me stupid and said that my counter wouldn't do anything to him. Quizzically, I was like, okay, what? That makes no sense. Water is conductive. But I told him that water's conductive and he gets shocked. He laughed and said that since it wasn't real water, the same dynamics don't apply. We all kind of looked, puzzled at that, except for Abram. But I responded by stating that the water was created by using chakra, which responds to the mental commands, and that since the brain operates via electrical impulses and the technique responds to these impulses, it's still conductive. After hearing my explanation, the DM agreed. The water was conductive, and he took the damage. Man, this is some BS. Y'all just ganging up on me. I don't know what all this is about, Noel said, and began to pack his stuff up and leave. Abram followed right behind him. Since these two rage quit, Greg and I were able to determine the source of the monsters, stop them from making more, and kill all of the shinobi that was causing them to begin with. All in all, it was a pretty great game. End post. Well, I think it's kind of funny how Noel tried to argue that water wasn't conductive. I'm sitting here, as I read that, I was trying not to laugh. Maybe I did, but I'm sitting here like, water's not conductive? What? I've never, yeah. Who says that? Water's not conductive. But yeah. Have you ever had anybody rage quit on you like that? Or have you ever had somebody try to say something that made you want to facepalm? Something, yeah. Leave a comment down below. And I'm King Sway. We'll see you in the next one. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification buttons. That helps the channel grow. We'll see you later. These two rage quit. Greg and I were able to determine the source of the monsters, stop them from making more, and kill all of the shinobi that was causing them to begin with. All in all, it was a pretty great game. End post. Well, I think it's kind of funny how Noel tried to argue that water wasn't conductive. I'm sitting here, as I read that, I was trying not to laugh. Maybe I did, but I'm sitting here like, water's not conductive? What? I've never, yeah. Who says that? Water's not conductive. But yeah. Have you ever had anybody rage quit on you like that? Or have you ever had somebody try to say something that made you want to facepalm? Something, yeah. Leave a comment down below. And I'm King Sway. We'll see you in the next one. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification buttons. That helps the channel grow. We'll see you later.